Part 1 Introduction. Farmers' rights and rural China. Farmers' rights are an important part of human rights protection in China. They are closely related to social fairness, justice, and the development of the rule of law. Farmers are entitled to economic, social, political, and cultural rights under national laws and policies. These rights include land contract management rights, labor rights, social security, access to public services, and participation in grassroots governance. Although China has made significant progress in rural development in recent years, the full realization of farmers' rights in practice still faces many challenges. These challenges are deeply connected to historical, institutional, and structural factors. Part 2 Rural background and urban-rural gap. China has a long-standing urban-rural dual structure. This structure has resulted in unequal development between cities and rural areas. Farmers often face disadvantages in income levels, social security, and access to public services. Despite the implementation of rural revitalization strategies, gaps remain in education, healthcare, and public infrastructure. These inequalities continue to affect the daily lives and long-term development opportunities of farmers. The rural background depicted in this video reflects these structural realities. Long distances, scattered settlements, and limited infrastructure are not simply geographic characteristics, but indicators of broader institutional challenges. Understanding farmers' rights, therefore, requires attention not only to legal provisions, but also to the social and economic environments in which these rights are exercised. Part 3 Importance of land rights. Expanded version. Land rights are the core of farmers' rights in China. For rural communities, land is not only a basic means of production, but also the most important source of livelihood and long-term security. Agricultural land provides income, food, and employment, and it plays a central role in sustaining rural families and local economies. As a result, the protection of land rights is directly linked to farmers' economic stability and social well-being. China's legal framework clearly recognizes the importance of farmers' land rights. The Constitution and relevant laws establish the household contract responsibility system and protect farmers' rights to use, manage, and benefit from collectively owned rural land. These legal provisions aim to ensure that farmers can rely on land as a stable foundation for production and daily life. In theory, land rights provide farmers with long-term security and legal protection against arbitrary interference. Part 4 Case of land transfer infringement in some rural areas. Collective farmland has been transferred to enterprises without holding villagers' meetings or obtaining farmers' consent. Many farmers were not informed in advance and were excluded from decision-making. These actions violate the principles of voluntariness and democratic participation. Judicial decisions have confirmed that land transfers lacking proper procedures are invalid. Courts have ordered the termination of illegal agreements and compensation for farmers' losses. Agricultural subsidies are an important policy tool to support farmers' livelihoods. They are intended to reduce production costs and encourage agricultural activities. Subsidies help farmers afford seeds, fertilizer, and other essential inputs, ensuring they can maintain their farms and contribute to the economy. However, in some cases, subsidy funds have been withheld or misappropriated. When subsidies are not distributed on time or in full, farmers face increased financial pressure and reduced motivation to continue farming. This financial insecurity not only threatens their families, but also destabilizes the entire agricultural supply chain. To protect farmers' economic rights, strict oversight is required to ensure funds reach the intended beneficiaries without delay. Part 6 Case of subsidy misappropriation in certain regions. Local governments have diverted agricultural subsidy funds for purposes unrelated to farming support. Investigations have revealed that these special funds were illegally used to plug fiscal gaps, repay government debts, or even cover salaries. effectively treating farmers' livelihood funds as a slush fund. As a result, farmers did not receive the financial assistance they were entitled to, suffering direct economic losses and disrupted planting schedules. Courts have ruled that such practices violate agricultural laws and policy regulations. Local authorities were ordered to return the withheld funds and compensate farmers for their losses. These cases highlight the importance of effective supervision mechanisms. It is crucial to establish a transparent, direct payment system that minimizes intermediary links where funds can be siphoned off. Part 7. Access to public services in addition to economic rights. Farmers are entitled to equal access to public services. Healthcare, education, and social welfare are essential components of social rights. However, the allocation of public service resources remains uneven between urban and rural areas. This disparity creates a structural barrier that prevents true equality. In some rural communities, basic medical facilities are insufficient or inaccessible. There is often a severe shortage of qualified doctors and modern equipment, forcing farmers to rely on underfunded clinics. Consequently, farmers may need to travel long distances to receive medical treatment. This situation directly affects their health and quality of life, as timely care is often unavailable. Bridging this gap requires significant investment in rural infrastructure and policies that incentivize professionals to work in remote areas, ensuring that farmers are not left behind in the pursuit of social development. Part 8. Case of rural healthcare inequality in certain villages. Promised rural clinics were not built as required. Local governments failed to fulfill their obligations to provide basic healthcare services, often due to mismanagement or budget reallocation. As a result, farmers faced serious difficulties in accessing medical care. The lack of nearby facilities meant that minor illnesses often went untreated, and emergencies became life-threatening due to long travel times to distant hospitals. Judicial rulings have required local authorities to allocate funds and establish standardized rural healthcare facilities. These decisions emphasize the legal responsibility of governments to promote equal access to public services. The courts have reinforced the principle that access to timely medical care is a fundamental social right, not a privilege, and that authorities must be held accountable for ensuring the health and safety of rural populations. Part 9. Systemic problems in rights protection. Many violations of farmers' rights are not isolated incidents. They reflect deeper systemic problems in grassroots governance. Weak supervision, inadequate transparency, and limited farmer participation contribute to the ineffective implementation of policies. Often, decision-making processes lack accountability, allowing local officials to act with impunity or prioritize economic development over the protection of livelihoods. Without strong democratic oversight, farmers' rights may be overlooked during policy execution. This weakens trust in institutions and undermines social fairness. When farmers lack the channels or power to voice grievances, systemic corruption can flourish. Addressing these structural flaws requires comprehensive reform, including the empowerment of rural communities, stricter auditing of local finances, and the establishment of independent oversight bodies to ensure that the rule of law protects the most vulnerable. Part 10. Conclusion and policy suggestions. Protecting farmers' rights requires coordinated efforts from multiple actors. Strengthening grassroots democratic supervision is essential to prevent abuses of power. Land transfers and collective asset decisions should involve farmers' participation, ensuring their voices are heard and their consent is obtained before major changes occur. At the same time, subsidy distribution mechanisms must be transparent and accountable, utilizing digital tracking to prevent misappropriation. Public service resources should continue to move toward rural areas to bridge the urban-rural gap. Through legal enforcement, policy improvement, and social awareness, the protection of farmers' rights can be further strengthened. Ultimately, empowering farmers economically and politically is the key to achieving sustainable rural revitalization and genuine social equity.